Everyone, in this video I'll be showing you one of the tips that would help you take your lettering to the next level. So there are a lot of times where we struggle with watercolor sheets, mainly when you have a lot of blending work to be done. You have to go for watercolor sheets. However, when you draw guidelines with your pencil or have a trace of your lettering work over it and you erase it and go over with your color, there are times when the graphite still remains on your paper, which gives a slightly ugly look. So especially if you're working on client work or collaborations, you would want it to be perfect and you would want it to look clean and neat. So this is one tip that I would give you, and how I work on my lettering. So the things you would need are a pencil, a small tip pen, a large tip pen or the pen that you're using as a base for your lettering, a sheet of paper that you're comfortable with. This is where we are going to draft the coat, and a particular guideline sheet. You can use your worksheets, or you can also use calligraphy sheets if you're using calligraphy, if you're going to do calligraphy, or else you can get these 1 centimeter grid papers for free on Google. You can just download them. The convenient thing about this is I generally go for top line as this, and then I leave 1 centimeter and this is my X height, and then I leave 3 centimeters and this is my baseline and this is my descending line. So yeah, in sheets like these you can vary your height and X height and see how it works for you. But if you're comfortable with a particular worksheet or a particular guideline, I would suggest you to use that. If you do not have any of this, it's completely fine. You can take a paper and draw guidelines over it that you're comfortable with, the height you like, and yeah, that should also work. So I use this little notebook to draft my coat. It is for my reference. If you already have a composition in mind and you want to go with that, it's totally fine. You can directly go to your draft. But here I like to practice my compositions and try out different fonts if it works well, and yeah, and some accents if I want to add some. Okay, so first I'm gonna try and draft my coat over here. So like I said, I'm gonna use the 1 centimeter grid paper, and I'm gonna use this white sheet of paper. You can use a tracing paper if you like. So this paper is A4 size 70 GSM blank sheets. This is the coat I'm gonna letter, and you can try out different fonts. You can also add accents around the ones you like, or yeah, basically it's an abstract picture in mind that you want to see how it works. You can try different fonts. I've used the script font, and here I've used sans serif. You can play around with different fonts and see how it goes for you. You can add ribbons around here. You can add banners. Yeah. So it's basically whatever is in your mind, the composition in mind is on paper. That's all it is about. You can skip this step if you're really confident with your lettering. So let's move to the next step. At 70 GSM, you can see your guideline through it. You do not need a lightbox for this step. There are a few things you would have noted in this step. So suppose you want this word to be in the center, and yeah, basically you do not want your words to get aligned to the left or right when you're having a centered coat. So this step will give you an idea of how you want to place your words. So for my lettering style, I have the biggest word is beautiful, so usually I letter this first, and then for this word I have an understanding where I know that I have to start the C right before the E and I have to end it near F or U for the word to look center. So things like these you can identify in this step, which will help you later when you draft the coat. Alright, so first I'm gonna start by lettering the word beautiful. You are free to make mistakes here. There are times where I slipped my pen and yeah, it didn't go right, but yeah, you can again rework with a new set of paper. So it's totally fine to make mistakes. Alright, so now I had left this space for lettering the two words can be. So I thought probably I can fit it in here because there's a lot of space around here. So I'm gonna write it down in pencil. Maybe I can move it around later, but yeah. Because of the previous step, we could keep the word centered along with this word. Even if it's not centered, it is okay. While tracing it onto your watercolor paper, you can adjust your sheets accordingly and yeah, trace it over. So now the next step is to trace this onto your watercolor paper. Next, we're going to use a light box to trace the coat. So it comes with a USB plug which you need to insert right here. I generally do not plug it into a socket, a power socket. I use my power bank, or I also have this is one of my earphones box. So even this has a USB output, so you can use this as well. It has 98% charge and it does stand for a long time for the light box because I think it takes only 5 watts of energy. So yeah, anything power bank or any little power source is enough to keep it lit. You can place your coat and then place the watercolor paper over it. I'm using an ivory shade here, so probably it looks a little different from the other sheet. And I'm gonna plug it on till I can see the coat clearly. And you can place it you can center your coat over the watercolor sheet. So suppose your words were not centered, you can move this sheet accordingly and place it in the center before you start tracing it. So once you center the piece and place it right where you want it over your watercolor paper, take your base pen. So I'm using Tombow N95 here, and you're gonna letter over this exactly the way it was on your draft sheet. This is the coat, the final draft of your coat. You can trim off the extra paper. So now this is ready to start your blending work and all the other gel pens or anything that you want to use. So there are no pencil lines. It looks clean, and even if you add monolines here, it'll look like it has a shadow to it. So yeah, this is how I come up with my lettering drafts. Also, there are a lot of people who use laser lights to show you to give you a guideline. But it's only the baseline that you can get. You need another beam for the X height or top line. My opinion is the light box is a really good investment if you are starting out and it's a little hard for you to get it straight without guidelines, and it really looks much neat than drafting it with a pencil and erasing it. If you skip the first step, all you need to do is draft it on a sheet of paper, and using a light box you can trace it back over here and start working over it immediately. So it is quick, maybe just one step to draft it, but it is so much better than erasing pencil lines from your watercolor paper. So yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you all for watching. I hope this tip helped you, and it also continues to help you come with beautiful work, and I hope it saved you all the pencil lines and erasing. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day ahead.